Welcome to the announcer's booth at Arapahoe Park. I'm Jonathan Horowitz. Opening weekend of the 2016 season at Arapahoe Park, and I think the view that I have up in the announcer's booth, it's one of the best views of the racetrack. High up on the finish line, able to follow all the action on the 1 mile track with binoculars. And when the dust settles, it's Gino's Bambino who now grabs the lead. Moonstruck Cowboy trying to go with him. It's down to these two. Moonstruck Cowboy and Tracy Hebert, the inside of Gino's Bambino, and Moonstruck Cowboy gets the nod over Gino's Bambino. And I invite fans at Arapahoe Park to see some of the behind the scenes and come up to the announcer's booth. Horses are in the paddock for race number 6, where a field of 9 will go 5 1/2 furlongs in a claiming contest. But in addition to the view where you're high up and can follow all the action, you can also go down to the rail and see the horses up close, really feel the power and hear the hoof beats as they go on by, and really display why the horse is one of the most majestic creatures on the earth and why horse racing is so magnetic, especially during this Triple Crown run. In addition to following the horses down close by the finish line, you can go to the paddock before the races and see the horses warming up, see the instructions that the trainers and the jockeys go over. It's sort of the equivalent of the locker room, and horse racing really gives you the opportunity to be interactive, not just tied to a seat, but able to go around and really make the track your own. And when you place a bet on the horses, your money actually gets displayed on the tote board in the infield, and basically that's the fans affecting what's on the scoreboard. And in very few sports do you see the fans playing such an integral role in the sport. So I invite you to come out to Arapahoe Park this summer and make the racetrack your own, take it all in, see some of the behind the scenes, and really experience why horse racing is such an engaging sport. Let's show you some of the highlights from the opening weekend at Arapahoe Park. We're just getting started, racing taking place until August 14th on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, with first post time at 1:00 p.m. each day. And also the holiday Mondays, there'll be special racing for Memorial Day and the 4th of July. Let's get to the action that kicked off the 2016 season at Arapahoe Park. The first of Arapahoe Park's 36 stakes races, worth a total of $1.5 million, took place on Sunday, May 22nd. The inaugural stakes featured a full field of 12 3-year-old thoroughbreds going 6 furlongs, 3/4 of a mile, for a purse of $35,000. Here's how I introduced the field and called the action.
Number 1 is Bourbon Street Boy. First and second in 6 races in a row at Turf Paradise in Arizona, owned and trained by Jackie Guerra, with Vince Guerra in the saddle. Number 2 is Miner's Notion, a maiden who was third in the Baxter at Bonner Park in Nebraska, owned by Ed Kidney and Evelyn Rafosco. Stetson Rushton trains. Alfredo Triana Jr. is the jockey. Number 3, the winner of the Silver Cup and CTBA Futurities at Arapahoe Park last year, R-Dub, representing owner Nye Brookover, trainer Butch Gleason, and jockey Dennis Collins. Number 4 from Arizona is Waste It Wisely, owned by Michael and Aquino. The trainer is Jonathan Nance, and the jockey is Tracy Hebert. From Nebraska, number 5, Western Destiny, owned by David Lebsock. One of 3 in the race, trained by Stetson Rushton, and the rider is Kelsey Purcell. Number 6 is Goodnight Spooner, carrying the colors of owner Annette Bishop. The trainer is Butch Gleason, and the jockey Mike Ziegler. A winner of 2 in a row at Turf Paradise, number 7, Noble Artist, owned by Sandra Coots, conditioned by Kim Oliver. The pilot is David Cardoso. Number 8 is the maiden Early Sunset, owned by Charlie Vanderlinden, trained by Stetson Rushton and ridden by Jeff Smith. Number 9 from Arizona, Kansas Cowboy, owned by Bill Van Landingham, trained by Tyrone Gleason and ridden by Nathan Haar. Number 10 is I'm a Big Deal, runner-up in last year's Idaho Cup Juvenile, for owner Mark Buckley and trainer Drew Hall, the rider Mark Luark. Number 11, Colorful Colorado, in the red, white, and blue of owner Hecky Heckendorf, the trainers Riley Parsons, and the new jockey Carl Williams. And number 12, Cowboy Cool, in the money in 2 stakes races in New Mexico, owned by Darwin Green in partnership with trainer Greg Green and the riders Russell Vishrilli. Final 2 to load are Goodnight Spooner and Cowboy Cool, the even money favorite. Cowboy Cool, a top 3 finisher in 2 stakes races in New Mexico last year and this year, and ran against Preakness runner Collected in the Sunland Festival of Racing Stakes earlier this year. Dozen 3-year-olds in line. Gates open, the inaugural stakes is underway. Cowboy Cool, with a good beginning, now takes back and allows Noble Artist to charge to the early lead from Goodnight Spooner and Western Destiny to his inside, making a line of 3. It's Goodnight Spooner who puts the nose in front as they sort themselves out. From Western Destiny vying for the lead to his inside, and then comes Noble Artist in the orange cap. They're charging for the lead. I'm a Big Deal going forward on the outside of Kansas Cowboy. Widest of all is Cowboy Cool, and then in behind them, Bourbon Street Boy. And the first half of the field, you can throw a blanket over them with R-Dub in the 2nd division, followed by Colorful Colorado, and then comes Miner's Notion. Early Sunset back towards the rear with Waste It Wisely as they fan out into the home stretch, passing the quarter pole, and Cowboy Cool and Russell Vishrilli sweep to the lead in the lime green cap in the inaugural stakes. From Noble Artist in 2nd, and then I'm a Big Deal in 3rd place. Bourbon Street Boy trying to close down the outside, but Cowboy Cool has taken over the race, and Cowboy Cool is kicking clear. Cowboy Cool takes the inaugural at his leisure, winning under a hand ride from Russell Vishrilli, defeating Noble Artist, and then a photo for 3rd place with R-Dub trying to run on in company with I'm a Big Deal. The time for 6 furlongs, 1 minute 11.73 seconds.
Nighthawk Ranch. Nighthawk Ranch is located in Guffey, Colorado, and we buy Mustangs from the BLM and we train them for use with these kids that are recovering from cancer. It's like a team from day one, the kid and the horse. And they feel really comfortable, they feel safe on the horse, they feel a part of the horse, they feel part of the program. And it's a bond they don't experience a lot in their lives.
So the kids have their own horse for the week, learn to ride if they haven't ridden before. We spend a lot of time with animals in the morning, and then in the afternoons we have more camping events, archery, ropes course, building a log cabin, camping out overnight, a little bit of everything.
I have a lot of cancer in my family. I'm a cancer survivor, and we believe that Nighthawk Ranch has a lot of natural healing on its own. It was a great healing force in my life, and we believe that sharing that with these kids, that's important. So clean air, clean food, great experience is all positive for these kids for sure in their healing.
The 2016 live horse racing season in Colorado at Arapahoe Park from May 20th to August 14th. Racing takes place on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, and special holiday racing on Mondays for Memorial Day and the 4th of July. Post time for the first race each day is at 1 o'clock p.m. For more information, visit myhighracing.com and facebook.com/Arapahoe Racing. Arapahoe Park, where horses come first. The opening week of the 2016 season at Arapahoe Park coincided with the second jewel of horse racing's Triple Crown, the Preakness Stakes from Pimlico Racecourse in Baltimore. 2 weeks after Nyquist won the Kentucky Derby, he tried to continue his Triple Crown run in the Preakness against Kentucky Derby runner-up Exaggerator, as well as a new crop of fresh horses trying to take him on. Fans at Arapahoe Park followed the action on televisions around the track, and let's show you what the atmosphere was like at Arapahoe Park in Colorado following the Preakness Stakes from Maryland.
All set. And they're off at the 141st running of the Preakness Stakes. A nice break there for Nyquist, awesome speed. And Uncle Lino to run with Nyquist early. So Nyquist has inside and outside company with the opening furlong. Down to the inside is Uncle Lino. Awesome speed on the outside is pressing two. And Collected will settle right off the pace in fourth, just 4 lengths in the front into the first turn run, followed by Lauben and Stradivari as they round that turn. And out of the inside, we have a biting star. Exaggerator is now about 11 lengths from the Duelers up ahead, and Fellowship follows that, and it's a big distance back to Cherry Wine, and Lonnie is last of them all, got to be 25 lengths off a 22-1 opening quarter. Wicked pace indeed. And on the outside, Nyquist going to go on with it. Nyquist takes over from Uncle Lino by a half length. Nyquist now trying to edge away just a bit, but Uncle Lino a determined foe and is coming back for more. And Awesome Speed is racing third. Stradivari is fourth. Down to the inside, Exaggerator's on the prowl. And here comes Exaggerator now up the inside, just a length and a half or two off the lead. Collected as an outside journey. They're followed by Lauben and a Biting Star in Fellowship. And next is Cherry Wine. Last still is Lonnie. 46 and 2.5 mile. 6 in 1, 11 and 4/5 of a second. 3 furlongs left to go. And Uncle Lino's grabbed that lead. Nyquist still battling on the outside. Oh, it's been a brutal battle. A quarter to go at Pimlico. Exaggerator switches to the outside and is coming after Nyquist, who turns for home with the lead. But Exaggerator sweeps up on the outside. And so Exaggerator looking to turn the tables on Nyquist, who's down to the rail. In the final furlong of the Preakness, Stradivari's moved to the third. Nyquist laboring. There is Exaggerator. Exaggerator and Kent Desormer at the 16th pull from Nyquist. Exaggerator and the Preakness turns the tables on Nyquist, who's trying to hang on to second. Maybe Cherry Wine there.
Before the Preakness, Nyquist and Exaggerator had squared off 4 times, with Nyquist winning all 4 meetings, most recently in the Kentucky Derby. But in their 5th meeting, Exaggerator was able to turn the tables, and the Preakness really set up for Exaggerator. It was muddy conditions at Pimlico in Baltimore after all the rain that had fallen in the last few weeks in the area, and Exaggerator had run his best races to this point in sloppy conditions. He won $2 million races, last year's Delta Downs Jack Plot in Louisiana, and this year's Santa Anita Derby in California in an off track. And in an off track at Pimlico, Exaggerator was able to slosh through the slop and get the victory after following what was a really fast pace, grueling fractions for Nyquist, a horse who likes to go to the lead, but this time he was really pressed through a fast pace by a newcomer to the Preakness in Uncle Lino. And after such a grueling pace, and with Exaggerator sitting a little bit closer to the pace than he did in the Kentucky Derby, Exaggerator able to make his move and pull away for the win. The first time that he's beaten Nyquist in 5 meetings, and after being second in the Kentucky Derby, now gets the glory in the Preakness Stakes in Baltimore. Cherry Wine finishes in 2nd place. Cherry Wine had been also eligible to the Kentucky Derby. He didn't get in because he wasn't in the top 20 in point standings, but those extra 2 weeks of rest seemed to help him, and Cherry Wine able to get up for second as a long shot. Nyquist very game in third after such a difficult race, a fast pace that really went against Nyquist and sloppy conditions that really went the way of Exaggerator. And his team trainer Keith DeSormo, jockey Kent DeSormo, sort of a homecoming for them. Kent DeSormo really became known as a jockey in riding at Maryland, and he's able to get back in the limelight in Maryland with Exaggerator taking the Preakness Stakes. It's on to Belmont. Exaggerator looks like he'll run in the Belmont Stakes. He's a horse who looks like he can go all day. And then we'll see what new shooters will run in the Belmont Stakes 3 weeks away, a mile and a half from Belmont Park in New York, to close out what has been a very exciting Triple Crown run. They're all exciting last year with American Pharoah, and this year with the great duel between Nyquist and Exaggerator.
The Arabian Horse Association has partnered with Arapahoe Park to bring you Arabian Horse Day at Arapahoe Park on June 18th. Come out to experience a morning trail ride by Colorado Horse Council, a behind-the-scenes tail tour where you can meet a real Arabian racehorse, enjoy a lunch while watching horse races, and make sure to enter the numerous raffle contests. Admission is $15. Kids 12 and under are $7.50. Tickets available day of the event. For more information, go to arabianhorses.org/Arabian Horse Day. You won't want to miss this.
The 2016 live horse racing season in Colorado at Arapahoe Park from May 20th to August 14th. Racing takes place on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, and special holiday racing on Mondays for Memorial Day and the 4th of July. Post time for the first race each day is at 1 o'clock p.m. For more information, visit myhighracing.com and facebook.com/Arapahoe Racing. Arapahoe Park, where horses come first. Nyquist came into the 2016 Preakness Stakes with an undefeated record, unbeaten in 8 races. The first time that an undefeated Kentucky Derby winner ran in the Preakness since Big Brown in 2008. We're going to take you back to that 2008 Preakness Stakes where Big Brown, in the words of announcer Dave Rodman, barreled through Baltimore, but we're going to put the spotlight on another horse from that race, the 3rd place finisher, Icabad Crane, and show you some of the amazing things that he's done since retiring from racing in the world of eventing.
And they're off in the 133rd running of the Preakness Stakes. Solid start for them all. Big Brown was away in good order.
This is the 2008 Preakness Stakes. All eyes were on Big Brown. He was undefeated and had won the Kentucky Derby in just his 4th start, the quickest any horse had risen to the top of U.S. horse racing in almost a century. Big Brown won the Preakness, providing the dream, which unfortunately didn't become reality, that horse racing would have its first Triple Crown winner in 30 years. But this story is about
Icabad Crane,
a horse who doesn't get a mention until the field is through the clubhouse turn, as the Graham Motion trainee shuffled back to last place. The 22-1 long shot with jockey Jeremy Rose aboard made a move around the far turn and closed to finish 3rd, a solid performance worth more than $100,000, although the focus of the race was admittedly on
Big Brown barrels through Baltimore with plenty left on his undefeated run for the Triple Crown. Macho again with sack and Icabad Crane race car Rhapsody in stable.
And they're off.
Icabad Crane raced from 2007 to 2013 and won 7 races and 33 starts for earnings of $585,000. 5 of Icabad Crane's victories were in stakes races, such as here at Saratoga in New York, in the 1 1/8 mile $75,000 Evan Shipman Stakes.
Icabad Crane still coming to him, but still 2 lengths behind. Stormy's Majesty by a length. Icabad Crane, Stormy's Majesty a half. Icabad Crane, Stormy's Majesty. Oh, too close to call. Stormy's Majesty and Icabad Crane right there with him at the end.
Icabad Crane retired at 8 years old, but that's not the end of his story. Trainer Graham and wife Anita Motion kept Icabad Crane and turned the horse's training over to Phillip Dutton.
He gives him plenty of air.
A 2-time Olympic gold medalist in eventing for Australia at the 1996 and 2000 Summer Games. 1 year after his final race, Icabad Crane made a homecoming to Pimlico. Back at the site of his biggest race, Icabad Crane showed off new skills over jumps that were set on the racetrack in the thoroughbred makeover presented by Retired Racehorse Project. Icabad Crane was named the 2014 America's Most Wanted Thoroughbred for starting a new career in eventing after racing. Eventing consists of the 3 sport horse disciplines of dressage, cross-country, and show jumping. The skills developed as a racehorse can be a good foundation for the power, body control, competition, and endurance required to be a top-level eventer. Here, Phillip Dutton and Icabad Crane adjust from taking 5 strides to 7 strides between vertical and oxer jumps. Icabad Crane has risen quickly in his new career and is now competing at the 1-star level. The highest level are 4-star events like Rolex Kentucky and the Olympics. Icabad Crane returned to the 2015 Thoroughbred Makeover at the Kentucky Horse Park, for a demonstration that showed that for horses, retiring from racing can be a new beginning. And so, after being on one of racing's biggest stages in the 2008 Preakness, Icabad Crane is on his way to big things on new stages.
Gates Open Race 6 is underway.
Want to experience what it's like to ride on a racetrack? Well, maybe not this fast, but you can ride on a trail that includes Arapahoe Park during the Colorado Horse Council's Heritage Ride on Saturday, June 18th. Then enjoy a day at the races as the Arabian Horse Association hosts the Arabian Horse Day at Arapahoe Park, with behind-the-scenes tours and activities for the whole family. Saturday, June 18th at Arapahoe Park. The first week from Arapahoe Park for the 2016 season is in the books, and now we'll turn our attention to this weekend, Memorial Day weekend, and looking at some of the stakes action that comes up at Arapahoe Park. The holiday racing programs that Arapahoe Park hosts on Memorial Day and the 4th of July turn the racetrack into a star-spangled banner of red, white, and blue. Even the horses show their patriotism, like Pick Me did when winning on the 4th of July in 2015 with an American flag painted on the hip of the Mark Powell-trained gray mare by groom Miranda Rose.
Pick Me, a good-looking winner, carrying the American flag on her hips on the 4th of July. It's Pick Me who scores in the Wathba Stud Farm Cup.
The feature race on Memorial Day in 2016 will be the Arapahoe Park Sprint, a stake won by Wally Van in 2014 and 2015. The Gray Gelding, bred by Willard Burback, owned by Bill Van Landingham and trained by Tyrone Gleason, is one of the most accomplished Colorado breds in the history of Arapahoe Park. Piloted by both jockeys Travis Wales and Mike Ziegler during his career, Wally Van has won 7 stakes races at Arapahoe Park from 2011 to 2015.
Here's Wally Van putting his best foot forward, and Wally Van goes on to the win, defends his title in the Arapahoe Park Sprint.
The 2016 Arapahoe Park Sprint has been shortened from 6 to 5 furlongs, or 3/4 of a mile to 5/8, making it an even bigger test of speed. The front-running Banker Bob tuned up in an opening weekend sprint with his 4th victory in a row.
As Banker Bob is fending off all the charges, going on to his 4th win in a row, Banker Bob and Russell Vishrilli.
Speaking of speed, Sunday's feature race is the Dash for Speed Bonus Challenge for quarter horses. The 330-yard race produced Arapahoe Park's closest finish in 2015 and one of the closest finishes you'll ever see in a horse race. See if you can pick the winner as 4 noses, a neck, and a head separated the top 7 finishers.
Gates Open, the Dash for Speed Bonus Challenge is underway with Himalaya Jess getting off to a good start. Miss Carver, the gray to the outside, and then comes cruising down the extreme outside. Midori Smoke running a strong race on the inside with Rock That Wagon. It's wide open. Stella Surprise is coming through a blanket finish. Any one of 7 horses spread out across the track. Those 7 horses are Rock That Wagon, Stella Surprise, Midori Smoke, You See Me Streaking, Himalaya Jess, I'm Bo Brown, and Cruisin'. A tremendous finish in the Dash for Speed Bonus Challenge, and definitely need the photo to sort that one out.
Rock That Wagon won the race for the 2nd year in a row. Female horses will take center stage on Saturday in the Ingrid Knott Stakes, a 6-furlong sprint for Colorado-bred fillies and mares, named for the longtime office manager of the Colorado Thoroughbred Breeders Association, Ingrid Knotts. Daily Family Thoroughbreds Sandhill Lady was 7th in the 2015 Ingrid Knotts,
Gates open, the Spicy Stakes is underway.
But then won the 2015 Spicy Stakes at the end of the season at Arapahoe Park.
With a quarter of a mile to go, and it's A.J. Marie who makes the long bid for victory. Turns for home on the edge of glory in the Spicy Stakes with a 2-length advantage. Sandhill Lady running a strong race, eases off the fence, coming after A.J. Marie, and then back to Sooty Storm and Fast Puff inside the final 100 yards. A.J. Marie and Sandhill Lady stride for stride. It's Sandhill Lady and Russell Vishrilli, A.J. Marie and Brian Theriault coming to the line in a desperate photo finish. Photo between Sandhill Lady and A.J. Marie in the Spicy Stakes.
She'll look to start 2016 off on the right foot. So after the first week of racing at Arapahoe Park coincides with the second jewel of the Triple Crown and the Preakness Stakes racing this weekend at Arapahoe Park, taking place on Saturday, Sunday, and a special Monday card for Memorial Day. Until your next time out at the races, I'm Jonathan Horowitz. Keep picking winners.